Every snap is an interview.
After the Snap.
What a snap.
Hey, keep your mouth shut, 50!
I lead by example.
With Blake and Reed Ferguson, discussing life in, out, and after football.
To be able to leave walking away with a degree and a championship, it couldn't be any better.
Yeah!
Well, you can take this boy out the real south on but you can't take the real south out of my voice. And now here we go again, twist a little bit deeper because I got thick skin. You must be selling me
Reed, I wore this hat this week because
Cottonwood
I figured,
Cruise.
and we discussed my hat choice last week, man of many hats. I wore this hat today, and I don't know if you can really tell, but because I felt it best blended in with my South Florida sunburnt face.
Yes.
We are officially week 2 of training camp. Off day tomorrow, second off day of training camp tomorrow. We've been in pads the last few days. I'm sunburnt. Legs are shot. We are officially in the dog days of training camp. How we feeling?
Feeling great, actually, if you're asking. Thanks for asking.
You look like you just had either a nice dinner or something. Like you don't look like you've been in training camp. The background does, but
I'll tell you what, for those that watched last week, saw the dorm room background. I apologize for the poor backdrop. We haven't hired a set. What would you call that person?
Set designer
Designer for the podcast yet. Normally we would be recording at home, where I have a nice, that's the normal setup with
got the American flag.
background.
Yes.
No, so you say I just got, I got a nice shirt on. I just got off the golf course. Shot a 99
There
at
you go.
Club of Rochester. So that was fantastic.
Getting better.
99. I've been playing seriously for, seriously playing for
Couple months.
probably five months.
Yeah.
So pretty proud of progress I've made.
Good for you, man.
Took some lessons. So the boys are feeling good. But yeah, shot a 99. So had a birdie on a par 3 in there.
There we go. Now we're talking.
We're good.
Did you have practice today and then you went straight out to the golf course?
We practiced this morning. Yeah. Yep.
Holy moly.
And then we went to
you guys must not be working hard enough. You must not be working hard enough to be able to.
No, today was our work day. For the Bills fans that are familiar with Rochester, we went to we had a team outing to Pittsford Dairy, a well-known local ice cream shop here in Pittsford and Rochester, about 5 minutes from camp. So we took some buses over there after lunch. That was got a couple scoops of ice cream, and then came back and headed over.
I'm gonna pause you there. What do you get at Pittsford Dairy? What's the order?
Great question, because they have like 40 different flavors.
Okay. Kind of like the Sugar Shack.
Yes, but more.
Holy cow. Okay.
They have like 3 times as many flavors as the Sugar Shack in 30A.
Wow.
If we did a what was it called?
Bellyache.
Yeah. From Pittsford Dairy, I think it would take us about a week.
Oh my.
To finish. So
if you did every flavor of ice cream.
Every flavor.
Did they do all the toppings? Is that like
I didn't know. I don't think so, but I saw somebody come out with sprinkles.
Okay. So maybe it's just like
I've never
basic.
seen that before, so maybe it's just the basic ones. But we did Pittsford Dairy, and then went to play some golf this afternoon. So it was great.
I'd have to imagine that was probably out in the country. So you're not looking at 60 different gummy worms and all the crazy toppings.
Yeah.
We're talking like barely having chocolate chips. Like we're talking rainbow sprinkles. That's about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Nail on the head. So that was awesome. And
That
then
sounds great.
went out on the golf course. So we're having a good time. Camp is going well. Fans have been fantastic. No pun intended. But yeah, no, it's great. Erica and Blakely have come up to
Nice.
camp a few times. So shout out to them. They've made the morning drive a handful of times. And
How far is that from OP? Is it like 45 minutes?
About 20. Yeah.
Oh,
about
it's okay. So it's almost an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Dang.
So it's a good little drive, but no, it's been great. I've been the boys are vibing. The boys
Awesome.
are vibing.
The
So it's
boys are
been good.
vibing.
We've had great weather. That's the one
That's
thing
great.
that's the one thing that has been
Man.
good, really good about camp. We haven't had any rain yet.
It's interesting that you say that because as is regular at this line of latitude in Florida, even a little bit further north with like Louisiana, Houston, that 3 o'clock rain, especially in the summer, is
Yep.
like you can bank it like every day, 3 o'clock
100%.
rain, at
100%.
least a 30-minute little like minor storm, and then it moves out.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I can probably count on my one hand the number of times it has rained since I've been here, which is mind-boggling.
It's crazy. I mean, we were out on the course. My buddies that we went with were talking about the fact that this part of the country, Western New York, is in a drought because it hasn't rained a bunch this summer. So I thought that's pretty interesting. But to go on your point, I mean, we were down in Houston for the summer. We didn't get a ton of rain for 4 or 5 weeks we were down there. So pretty interesting to think about. Not really. I can't say we're a weather pod.
I was gonna say, this is an interesting tangent.
We do follow
considering the weather.
Yeah, I mean, being specialists, you do have to tune in and be knowledgeable about your location and the weather patterns of where you play. Obviously, I mean, I would say a little more difficult where we are versus you guys, just in terms of the variety of what we can get up here
for the back half of the season. I would say, for sure.
So it's something that my weather knowledge is definitely increased tenfold since I've been in the league. So it's weird, but anyway,
you gotta adapt to survive.
I know. So okay, so we've been in camp for a few weeks.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to talk about, upcoming college football season. Obviously, the boys are vibing. NFL season's coming up. Like, always excited, getting excited about that.
Yes.
That kind of has its own place. College football.
Yes.
Very near and dear to our hearts, LSU football. But basically college teams are back reporting soon. And really this week in the next few days. I think when we were at LSU, our report day was always like August 2nd to 5th, kind of depending on when that day fell. But I can say, like, Bills fans are excited to see training camp videos of Josh and Steph and Tre'Davious and Tremaine and Von Miller and the Tyler Bass and the kick, the whole deal. I am excited to get a vibe check on where we are with Brian Kelly, the new staff,
new quarterback
situation. I know a couple guys going for the spot there. So I'm a lot of transfers, which is going to be interesting to see and kind of get to know those guys over the course of the season. But really just Brian Kelly and where the quarterback situation is, because that's really where it begins and ends in the game of football. If you don't have a good quarterback, and kind of handcuffing yourself from the get-go.
I think what's especially interesting about LSU this year, and I mean, for every team across the board, you have to have a good quarterback to play at a high level. LSU has 4 quarterbacks that are in contention to be the starter this year, which is just mind blowing. Jaden Daniels from Arizona State, who transferred in, Miles Brennan, who's been there for as long as I can remember.
years.
Nussmeier, who I think burned his red shirt, or maybe they didn't burn his red shirt last year.
Don't think they did.
They played. I think they played John Trey Kirkland in the bowl game so that they wouldn't have to burn Nussmeier's red shirt. And then Walker Howard, who was stud quarterback,
5-star
out of Lafayette, Louisiana last year.
Yep.
Just crazy talent in that room
across the board.
I have a hard time believing that you can keep that much talent. Like, it's not. I mean, Miles.
That's good. I think Miles is on his way out.
Miles has 1 year. I mean, Miles has this year. If he's not the guy this year, then that's pretty much it. Jaden Daniels looks poised to be the guy.
I think he will be the guy.
But I mean, at the end of spring ball, I mean, it's the media is the media. The end of spring ball, Brian Kelly said, we're going to know in training camp who the guy is. We have installed a new offense, and in preseason training camp, fall camp, we're going to build it around who we think is going to be the starter. So I'm pumped to be talking mad game to my teammates on Saturday nights or Saturday afternoons whenever the Tigers are playing. But it does seem like there are so many question marks after so many guys left, so many guys transferred in, a lot of new recruits. They did well in the transfer portal.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's at the end of the day, those guys transferred out of their first school for a reason. So I'm just curious to see how they pan out.
And since this is after the snap, we do have to mention that LSU did get there will be a new long snapper.
The new sheriff in town.
His name is escaping me, but I believe he transferred from East Carolina. Can you confirm?
I believe that is true. Slade Roy. Yep.
Yes.
Started
correct.
all 12 games. Look at me. Just
I
Slade
talked
Roy,
to
East Carolina, appeared in all 12 games last year as the team's primary long snapper.
I talked to his name is escaping me. Brian Polian, the new teams coordinator there.
You talked to him?
Ties to the Buffalo Bills. I talked to him a few months ago, got the lowdown before the summer specialist camp. Just kind of get what the latest was after spring practice going into training camp. He said that Slade was he was excited to coach Slade. So hopes up for the specialist room. I know they're gonna be, every year, every football team, their specialists are called on to win a couple games for them. So
got big shoes to fill in that room with Cade York leaving for the Cleveland Browns.
Yep. So we're gonna have to make a few big kicks. But did you see? So I thought it was funny. Did you see the whole I don't even know what to call it. I think it's called LSU Gold.
Yeah.
Why did they not just make an OnlyFans? Because it's basically what it is.
I've seen that there are a couple. I think Clemson's got it. I think a couple other schools have it. Exclusive content for content that should already be on social media, and they're asking for $9 a month. We're not gonna sit here and rant because this is our school. This is our alma mater.
I'm gonna rant.
We need to call out the things that need to be called out. And I think it's a joke that they're asking for $9 a month. I don't know what Netflix is, but it's got to be less than $9 a month.
I think, okay, so I pay for our family's Netflix.
Yep. Reed
I
pays
have-
for the entire
I
family
have an
to watch
account.
Netflix.
You have an account. Mom, Dad, and Erica all have accounts. It's like $16 a month.
For everybody, for like
For
6
everybody.
people.
This is $9 a month.
Yep. Here we okay.
And
So
you're
here we
watching
go.
you're watching one thing.
Yeah.
Netflix has a million shows to watch.
The basic Netflix plan is $9.99 a month.
There you go.
So
You're
we're
paying
talking
$1 more for you'll pay $1 more for Netflix and you get to watch
a gazillion more videos and shows and movies.
anything.
Yeah, I think it's I see why
I'm not-
they're doing it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I think
I
in
think
order
it's
to execute it in the way that they think fans will want for $9 a month is not feasible at all. There's no amount of content that you can produce that is giving comparable to Netflix at all.
so what's the funniest thing you can think of that the revenue for this LSU Gold would go to? Because I have an answer in my head.
The funniest thing that this revenue would go to, probably. Never mind.
Would you like me to go first?
Yes.
I think that the money for LSU Gold is going to pay for toilet bidets in Tiger Stadium.
I wouldn't be opposed to that, given how much of an upgrade.
I've never
it would
used
be.
a bidet.
Dude,
But if I
Tiger
did-
Stadium barely has. They have troughs in the men's bathroom. It's not even like a single use urinal. You're
Well,
standing next to like 5 guys peeing in like a metal bin.
I'm not against that.
There's no way they're getting bidets, dude.
Well, they have toilets.
Well, yeah, but
Troughs are
Let's-
very economical.
let's get urinals first.
Why? You don't need urinals.
Are you going to tell me that a urinal is less efficient than
You can
A
fit more
bidet?
people. You can fit more people in it. I'm not. It's too. This is It's irrelevant to the conversation.
I can't believe we're having this conversation.
I need an answer before we move on.
I can't say mine. I can't say it.
Okay.
I'll come back to that. I'll think about it. But can we talk
so-
about the fact that we just completely skipped the Miami Dolphins section of training camp for a minute?
Well,
Because
I'm excited about LSU.
I get that.
I'm not going to bring up Miami
But
Dolphins.
I just sat here and listened to Buffalo Bills coverage about you eating 40 flavors of ice cream. Can we talk about the Fins Fun Factory for a minute?
What is the Fins?
Fun Factory.
I'm reading your notes. The Fins with a P, Fun,
With a
PH,
P. Yep.
Factory, PH.
PH. Yes. And that is on the script for our practice.
Okay.
The Fins Fun
Does this have
Factory.
anything to do with the music?
Partially, not
The
actually.
practice
No,
squad, practice squad music stuff.
Isn't
that a
sort
thing?
Of, sort of. So one thing that McDaniel has implemented with our practices for training camp, while fans are in the building, is
Fans with an F or fans with a PH?
fans with a PH, because that's
Okay.
how we do things in
Important
Miami.
clarification.
Dolphins.
Important clarification.
Yeah. Is we pick a rookie, the players pick a rookie each day to get in front of the fans
Oh,
and get them hyped up before we start practice. And it's
Is there a video of this?
electric. Yes, it's on social. I'll retweet it from the podcast account.
I need
The
to see
first day, we have a player by the name, he's an offensive lineman by the name of Blaze Andrews. Played offensive line at the University of Minnesota.
Okay.
He's a golden gopher with
Row
a
the boat.
golden ponytail. Like,
Is that row the boat? Is that Minnesota?
yeah.
Okay.
And so Blaze Andrews gets in front of the fans.
Ponytails?
He has long blonde hair. He wears a ponytail. He gets in front of the fans after Tyreek has already done a backflip and gotten the fans. Tyreek spoke to the fans. Blaze took so this year our pre-workout of choice is the C4 cans of pre-workout.
Yes.
Or energy drink, whatever it is. He smashed 2 of them on his head, full on Stone Cold Steve Austin. Got the crowd going nuts.
That's
the place is going bonkers. Loudest, like we were yelling. We were yelling at each other in stretch lines. It was so loud, and there were 5,000 people there, going nuts.
That's awesome.
And then Tua hits Tyreek for a deep post, and
See that video.
Tyreek hit 23 miles per hour on that play, and it was place went nuts.
Question. If you are racing Tyreek,
yeah,
how far ahead of him do you need to start?
It's like racing the
He
freeze. It's like racing the freeze at the Braves game.
Yes. Perfect. Yes. If he is running 100 yards, if you're running from goal line to goal line, where do you need to start
to feel comfortable about winning the race?
To win the race, not feel comfortable to win the race.
Probably the 50.
I was gonna say the 40,
dude.
The minus 40.
The minus 40. Yeah, I would say probably the 50.
They have that scoreboard in our stadium that shows like the leaders every week, the speed leaders, and I think I remember seeing like Jonathan Taylor last year at like 23.1 maybe. I
don't know how you do that in shoulder pads.
Bananas.
I don't know.
It's bananas.
But that is my
fun fact
update from Dolphins training camp. Also,
that's every day.
Finn's Fun Factory, yeah. Every day that we have fans, because we don't have fans every day.
Oh, okay.
Every day that we have fans, the rookies are responsible for doing that. So
I saw you met a few of your whiskey buddies at camp.
Yeah. So there was a guy that sent me a bottle of Stag Junior to the facility. That's a very, very good bottle of bourbon. Wow. He sent it to me and he was like, can I get a sideline passes for the Chicago game? And I was like, well, we are away in Chicago, so we don't really have sideline passes for away games, but I told him I would send him a jersey and we'd work on maybe a home game or something. But yeah, that was cool. And it's been really cool getting to see fans and sort of sign autographs, because last year we had fans and it was the first year of my career that we had fans at practice, but we weren't allowed to go sign autographs because COVID was still like, we couldn't interact with the fans, which anyway. So we actually are able to go and sign autographs and take pictures and interact with the fans, which is so much fun. And yeah, so it's been great. We only have a couple more practices until we go to Tampa. We go to Tampa on, I don't know, like Sunday or Monday. And we have 2 joint practices with them, which is going to be so much fun. and then preseason game. So
Um,
this is where it starts moving really, really fast.
Yeah, agreed.
And what's wild about what we do, and I think you would probably attest to this, is like there's this phenomenon where when you're playing the season, you start getting into games and you start getting in this routine of like scouting report, practice, game, scouting report, practice, game. And it just like flies by, and you turn around, it's like week 14 and you're like, holy crap, where did the season go?
100%.
And then at the end of the
It's like
season, you're playing
week 5 to 14.
they're just like disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you turn around and you're at the end of the season, you're like, holy crap, these last 3 games are like really meaningful football games. We need to like really focus here. But that's one thing that even in college, and it was only a 12-game season, but it's still like you get into that groove of playing games, and you turn around, it's like, holy crap, where did the season go?
Yeah.
But I was having that conversation with some guys the other day. It's just wild how like once you get into preseason, it's like 3 preseason games, boom. 53-man roster comes out, and then we're off to the races.
Yeah. Like like I said, week 5 through 14. I always think of like once like the holidays are the benchmark.
Yeah. Yes.
Like Halloween is usually like, that's kind of like you're approaching mid-season.
Yep.
And then Thanksgiving, Christmas, like Thanksgiving to Christmas, that quick.
Yeah.
I mean, you're 3 or 4 games and it's gone. And then after Christmas, you're like, okay, we got 3 games left, or whatever it is. And then you're, getting ready for the playoffs or whatever. But we're at that time. I'm excited to see some videos that come out of y'all's practice next week with Tampa. We are not doing a joint practice this year. I know we covered that, a couple weeks ago on the pod, but you guys have 2. You guys have Tampa
and then
Philly.
Preseason game 3.
Philly comes to Miami.
Yep. Which is wild. I don't know why teams agreed to that. Like,
there is a benefit. We went to
miserable.
Charlotte. Well,
no, I'm saying teams coming to Miami to join practice.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, we went to Charlotte a couple years ago. It was hot.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's hot everywhere right now. I mean, it's warm up here.
Yeah.
It's not as warm as Miami, but like it was 92 today. So like
I was thinking about it today. So we're at Tampa, preseason game 1. We're home versus Vegas and Philly, preseason games 2 and 3. And I thought the Vegas one was interesting to me because they're so far away. They're a West Coast team coming here for a night preseason game. And I guess to me, if I was doing that, or if I was scheduling that, that would be the one that I would try to do the joint practices, because if I'm coming all the way out there for a preseason game, might as well make it worthwhile.
Yeah.
Denver
is coming out. We play Denver at home.
I'll play Denver. Okay.
So it's kind of the same thing.
So and they may have talked about doing joint practices or something. I have no idea, but that was something that I was thinking about the other day, was that seems like that would make a lot of sense if, to do joint practices. If you're going to come all the way from the West Coast to Miami to play a preseason game. But
okay, last thing.
Some big news.
Actually what I was most excited to talk about.
Shocker, I know.
Baseball trade deadline. And I know that we are not a baseball based podcast, but you and I are massive baseball fans. We send baseball stuff to each other every single night. Every single night during camp, I've watched some form of baseball. Yankees, whoever's on. I tweeted about an hour ago that the Padres are must-see television at this point. And I think this is the biggest trade that we've ever seen. Not the biggest as in most number of people traded, although the Padres sent like 6 guys the other way. I think in terms of the quality of player, this is the biggest trade. I mean, Juan Soto is 23 years old. For those that are baseball fluent, he has 2 more years past the rest of this season of team control for under his contract before he hits free agency, if they choose not to extend him, sign him to an extension, which they just signed Tatis Jr. to a $330 million extension last year, and they're paying Manny Machado $300 million.
Soto's got to be a rental. He has to be.
Well, I mean, you can't even call him a rental because he's got 2.5 years left. Rentals are like for the rest of the season. Like Christian Vasquez going to the Astros is a rental because there's already talk of him re-signing with the Red Sox for next year.
There's no way Soto stays the life of his current contract. No way. They'll get rid of him because he'll get so upset that he's not getting an extension because they can't afford it. They can't afford it. The Padres. There's no way that they can pay him and Tatis the money that they both want.
The Yankees are paying, I mean, they're not New York, but they're paying Stanton 30-something million, Garrett Cole 30-something million. I mean, they can afford, they're trying to pay Judge 30-something million. San Diego's not a huge market, but I think they can figure out a way to pay him.
Speaking of the Yankees,
that's just my opinion. I don't mean to turn into Skip and Shannon here, but I think they can pay him. I don't know if they will because they have 2.5 years. And if I was a betting man, I would put my money on them winning one of the next 3 World Series.
100%. Because every move that they've made has been a win now, get rid of prospects. It's like they don't believe in minor league prospects.
He has been hurt all season. So he's coming back soon in the next couple of weeks, I believe. So just in time for a playoff run. It's going to be awesome. Like I said, the Padres have become appointment television. I will probably
be electric watching them.
I'll have their games on at nighttime since they play. They'll be on after the Yankees are on every night, unless the Yankees are playing the West Coast. So
I saw where today was Soto's first day in the building, and he's making his debut. He's making his
lineup.
He's making his debut tonight, but they were pushing all the content from, him arriving today.
Oh yeah.
And he did a press conference. I can't remember. I can't see oh yeah, here it is. They asked him something, and he says, "I wish good luck to the other pitchers," and that's like
class.
It's perfect. Like it's
just what you want to hear as a Padres fan.
Like
overconfidence from the superstar. I mean that so I didn't finish my thought earlier. Like he's 23. He already has a World Series under his belt. And he did well. He hit 350 in 2020. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. Like they just traded for a Hall of Famer.
Dude's 23 years old.
23 years old. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame, dude. It's bananas. He's got the best bat to ball skills I have ever seen. And I'm not even a baseball scout. I'm just a fan.
Let's talk about somebody else because there was a lot of moves,
Yep, a lot of moves
around the trade deadline. We're not going to cover all of them, obviously. One that I wanted to mention was the Harrison Bader.
But we're both big fans of him coming from
Love Harrison Bader. I just love watching
Scrappy
him.
guy.
He's scrappy. He has a great personality. Like, he is just fun to watch. Got the hair, dresses crazy, and they became a Yankee. Now I can't.
I didn't see it coming.
I can't love him anymore.
I know. I'm sorry.
But I will say, I also do really like Aaron Judge. As a Red Sox fan, that pains me to say that because he's a Yankee. But there's nothing about Aaron Judge that you can say, "Oh, I don't like that guy."
He's like such a likable.
He's
player.
a likable guy. He's an angel off the field. And he hits bombs.
Yep.
And he's like 6'7" out there making great catches in the outfield from time to time. So this is player number 2 on the Yankees that I'm like, oh, I like that guy. So it's like a knife twisting in my stomach.
They also got a pitcher, finally, Frankie Montas from Oakland. He was basically the best pitcher on the market after Castillo went to Seattle. And the third and final, so Yankees made a bunch of moves. Red Sox made some moves, traded for Hosmer. I think you liked him back in the day when he played for Kansas City.
Yeah, Eric Hosmer.
They won the title.
Yep.
Christian Vasquez got traded to Houston. Trey Mancini
was like single tier as a Red Sox fan. Everybody loves Christian Vasquez.
I felt for Baltimore because they're in the wild card race.
Yeah. And
they just traded arguably the face of their franchise the past couple of years, Trey Mancini, away to Houston. He's just going to rake with the Crawford box in left field, like that short porch and left. But no, I mean, this was arguably one of the probably top 2 trade deadlines that we've seen. And I mean, it's exciting. That's part of the, it's part of the reason that I love watching baseball is because these kind of moves get made and it doesn't happen anywhere else. Like, you don't see guys in the NFL that have, week 8, it's the week 9 trade deadline. They have half a season left and they get traded with, and they're going to be a free agent. That just doesn't happen.
No.
So it's pretty, that's kind of the part of that I think it's interesting. You play 110 games or whatever it is, 106 games up to now. And you kind of reassess as you're going. And then you're like, okay, what pieces do we need to add? Because no contender ever says, "No, we're good."
Yeah.
Right. Like usually the teams that make the moves end up.
That's how the Braves won the World Series. Jock Peterson,
100% traded for 4 outfielders last year.
Yeah. Had to.
So after they lost Acuna.
Had to. Last one of note.
Yes. Very notable.
Our boy, Buford High School graduate, Brandon Marsh of the Los Angeles Angels.
Great beard.
Is coming to the East Coast. Great beard, great hair. Coming to the East Coast, has been traded to the Philadelphia Phillies. He's now in the Atlanta Braves division, which is great for me because I am an A-list member. Don't ever forget it.
That's right.
And I will be making it a priority to go to those games next year to see B. Marsh hopefully
exciting
hit bombs.
Cool.
But yeah, just super pumped that he is going to be playing a lot more games, a lot closer to home. I know he is as well. And so now he gets to share an outfield with, instead of Mike Trout, he's sharing an outfield with Bryce Harper. So it's got to be tough.
Not a bad step. It is a step down, but not a bad step down.
It's like a step, just like barely down. It's
Yep.
like a
divot.
gradual decline.
Yeah. He
It's
took
like
it stepping down into a divot.
like a ramp.
Yep.
Into a
A
divot.
small ramp.
Very, very lateral ramp. Yes.
Cool.
Congrats to B Marsh. Yes.
Yeah, congrats to B Marsh. That's cool. Always good to see local guys make it. I think that's awesome. Especially somebody you know.
Yeah, 100%. Well, this is a wrap on this week's episode of After the Snap. Thank you for joining us. As always, subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. That is how we grow. Follow us on social media at After the Snap Pod. We may have some changes being made here in the next couple of weeks that we are very excited about. So tune in for that. We will see you soon. This has been After the Snap, tales from two brothers who live life upside down.